Today we're doing Module 6, Quadratic Functions, A.REI.4, Level 4 Reteach. A brick path is formed by the width of the construction around the outside of the 6 meter by 10 meter rectangular garden. Find how wide the path should be if there is enough of brick to cover 132 square meters. Use factoring to solve and completing the square to solve this problem. So it works best if you have a picture. So I'm going to draw a picture right here. So this is my garden. My garden is a 6 by 10 on the inside. And then we're going to have the width all the way around. So that means I'm going to get 2w plus 6. And then I'm going to have a 2w plus 10. My formula would be area equals length times width. So when we do this, we want to take out the garden. So we're going to put in 132 for area, and then we're going to have 2w plus 10, and then we have 2w plus 6 minus, and we're taking out the small garden, 6 by 10. So then we're going to FOIL first, and we get 4w squared plus 12w plus 20w plus 60 minus 60, which means the 60s get canceled out. Now, we are doing this by factoring. So when we do it by factoring, we want to get 130. We want to get everything set equal to 0. But before we do that, and I'm getting ahead of myself, is I need to combine like terms, and this is going to get me 32w, and then I'm going to subtract 132, and then I'm going to get 0 equals 4w squared plus 32w minus 132. I'm going to divide everything by 4 because I see that there's a common factor of 4, so I get 0 equals w squared plus 8w minus 33 equals 0. I can do this with the box method. I don't know why I put 2 zeros. I'm going to do this with the box method. So I have a w and a w, and I have a minus 3 and a plus 11. So I have w minus 3 and w plus 11 equals 0. So w minus 3 equals 0, or w plus 11 equals 0. So w will equal 3, or w equals negative 11. Well, negative 11 won't work. It would have to be 3 meters would be the correct answer. Now we should be getting the same answer when we do the completing of the square. So with completing of the square, and since we've already gotten to where we need to go, I'm going to start it right here. I don't need to do all that again. I am just going to do w squared plus 8w minus 33 equals 0. Now with completing of the square, we like the c on the other side, so we're going to add 33. So I get w squared plus 8w equals 33. We're going to get my magic number is what I refer to. I'm going to get 8 over 2, and c equals 4, and I'm going to get c equals 16. So my magic number is 16. So that's what I'm going to be putting on both sides. And now I'm going to take this number right here, and I'm going to put it as w plus 4 squared, and it's going to equal 49. I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I'm going to get plus or minus 7. So w plus 4 equals negative 7, or w plus 4 equals positive 7. And you notice that we got the same answer, which is good. That means we did it right. We also know that a negative 11 wouldn't work, and it would still be 3 meters. So now we're going to be working on the quadratic equation. Let's take a look at that. A ball is thrown upward from the height of 15 feet with the initial upward velocity of 5 feet per second. Use the formula to find how long it would take for the ball to hit the ground. Use the quadratic formula to solve. Now when we do the quadratic, we want to put it equal to 0. So that's what we're going to do, is just change this to 0, and then we can go ahead and use the quadratic. So x equals a -5 plus or minus, we're going to have 5 squared minus 4 minus 16 and minus 15 all over 2 times -16. X equals -5 plus or minus, I'm going to get 25. Two negatives make a positive and I get 960 all over -32. And that's going to get me x equals -5 plus or minus 985. And then I'm going to divide that by -32. And x equals -5 plus or minus 31.38 over -32. And I'm going to get my two answers. So we do x equals -5 minus 31.38 over -32, or x equals -5 plus 31.38 over -32. You add those together and you get -36.38 over -32. And that's going to get me x equals 1.14 because two negatives make a positive. And this would be x equals 26.38 over -32. And x equals -0.82. We cannot have a negative seconds, so it would be 1.14 seconds. So let's take a look at the next one. So next one is kind of similar to the other one. So we have a picture that is 20 centimeters wide, 25 centimeters high. The picture is placed on the mat so that the mat is uniformly wide strip around, shows a border around the picture. The area of the mat is 306 centimeters squares. Find the width of the mat strip surrounding the pictures. Use factoring to solve and completing the square. So again, here's what we have. So we have this picture. We have a thing around it. We know that this is going to be a 20 by 25, and we have W's and W's. So this would be 2W plus 25 and 2W plus 20. And again, its area equals length times width, and we have to take out the inside picture because we don't want to put a border around that. That would not look pretty. You won't be able to see the pretty picture. So we're going to do 2W plus 25, and then we're going to put minus 20 times 25. So now we're going to just do the math. We're going to do some FOILing. I also know those cancel out. So we're just going to continue that on. I'm going to combine like terms, which is what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to subtract 306 because in order for me to do any factoring, we have to have it set equal to 0. So we have 4W squared plus 9OW minus 306 equals 0. I also know that I could divide everything by 2. So when I do, I get 2W squared plus 45W minus 153 equals 0. Then I can do the big X on this one. So if I do the big X, I think I'm going to do it up here. If I do the big X, I'm going to have a negative 306. And I'm going to get a plus 45x. So I have a plus 51x and a minus 6x. So 2w squared, I'm going to have plus 51w minus 6w minus 153 equals 0. So then I can take out I can just take out a w. That's all I can see. I can take out. So I could take a w and I get 2w plus 51. And I can take out a 3 and I'm going to get 2w plus 51 equals 0. So I have a w minus 3 in one parentheses and 2w plus 51 in the other one. So I have w equals 3, or w will equal negative 51 over 2, which I don't like negative 51 over 2. I want to divide it, and I would get w equals negative 25.5. So I can't have a negative border. The answer would be 3. So again, I would have 3 centimeters would be my answer. So let's do this again with completing of the square. When we complete the square, we will like it in this form. So I'm going to start right here at 2w squared plus 45w minus 153 equals 0. Remember, I need to have c on the other side. So I get 2w squared plus 45w equals 153. I'm going to divide by 2. So I get x, not x, sorry. I like x, but it's not x. It's w squared plus 22.5w equals 76.5. Then I come here and I do c equals b over 2 squared. C equals 22.5 over 2 squared, or c equals 11.25 squared. So that's my number that's going to go where I need it to go, underneath the radical. And when I square that number, it's going to be a nice big number though. C equals 126.5625. That will be my magic number. So when I do this, I do w squared plus 22.5, and then I'm going to add 1, oh, I forgot the w. I'm going to add 126.5625 equals 76.5, and then I'm going to add plus 126.5625. Then, underneath the radical, I'm going to do x plus 11.25 squared, and it's not x. My favorite variable is x. It is really w, equals, I add those together, and I get 203.0625. Take the radical. When I take the radical, x plus 11.25 equals plus or minus 14.25, and then I get x plus, not x, I love x, it's going to be w plus 11.25 equals negative 14.25, or w plus 11.25 equals positive 14.25. I'm going to subtract 11.25. And that's going to get me w equals negative 25.5. And then if I subtract 11.25 from here, I'm going to get w equals 3, which is the same answer, so it does work. So it's going to be 3 meters wide. Let's take a look at the last problem. I think I'm going to pause this video because I don't think I'm going to finish it, and I will do that on the second one.